Star Wars planets used to look cool. What I mean is, if you look at the, stuff like George Lucas made, the original trilogy, prequel trilogy, every planet is unique in some way. And obviously, this is not like this new take. Like, obviously, Tatooine, just a giant desert planet. Hoth, giant snow planet. And it's those simple things that make these planets completely unique to one another. Even during the prequels, you have Geonosis, Kamino, Naboo, Mustafar, Utapau, Coruscant. All those planets are completely individually different from one another, and they're not all the same. Not one is the same from one another. It's crazy, it's cool, it's great world building. And nowadays, it's not that great. Now, I do want to clarify, when I'm talking about planets that have been cool anymore, I'm talking about the live-action shows. Because even in the sequel trilogy, and I know some of the planets in the sequel trilogy aren't the greatest by a lot of people, like with Jakku and Pasana being both desert planets or just carbon copies of Tatooine. You have Star Killer Base, which is just, in a way, like Hoth. It's just a snow planet. And you do have your fair share of just normal green-looking planets, like in the Force Awakens, Takadan and Dakar. They're both like these grassy planets, so they're not that visually interesting, but they're still interesting. I still think they are, in my opinion. I don't think they should be regarded as like these boring-looking planets, because compared to live-action shows, that's way bland. And the only time planets in the live-action shows are actually interesting when they're taking things from other stuff, whether it be from animation or the other films. You know what I mean? Like the only exception to this is Andor. Andor is the only show that every planet looks visually distinct, even though they're not crazy. They're not like blowing your mind away with how like visually distinct they are. They're not completely alien, but at the same time, they're all visually distinct, where you can actually see the culture, and this place feels livable. It feels like an actual livable planet. Whereas a lot of other planets and a lot of the other shows don't really feel that way. And I understand why, because of budgets and enough money for this thing. But Andor managed to make these planets look believable, and you kind of want to go to these places. I kind of want to go to Ferrix. I kind of want to go to Gorman. Well, actually, I may not want to go to Gorman, but I want to go to Gorman pre-Empire. It feels like a nice place to live. So Andor did it, but like with all the other live-action shows, they kind of just are settings. Like, I don't really know what the biomes they're trying to depict. I really don't know for most of these. Like, I'm excluding Andor here, but every other show, it's like, it feels like they're just filming in just a random place on Earth. It doesn't feel like a distinct planet, even though, back in the 70s and 80s, that's what they did. And Tatooine, Hoth, Endor, they all feel more alien than what we're seeing now, even though those are filmed literally on Earth in like actual like places they can go to in real life. Yet those feel more alien than the places that they're creating in the soundstage. So how can we fix that, and how can we fix this issue? Well, the biggest thing that I think will change a lot is something that I really want them doing. Is they need to change the skybox. I don't care if the planet is just dull gravel or dirt paths everywhere, or just like it's boring, bland browns and grays. Like, you can have that, but change the skybox to green, pink, yellow, or even change the watercolor to, pink, purple. You know what I mean? Like, changing the colors of something that we see on Earth makes it feel alien. Those are really simple things that wouldn't cost any of these productions any money, and it would make these planets more visually distinct. That would be enough for me to justify this being a different planet. But as it stands, like when it comes to all the other shows, they just don't really feel that alien, or they feel like something from another franchise, you know what I mean? They don't feel distinctly Star Wars. But if they were to change those two things, then it would. They were taking my suggestion, make the skybox or the water, or even the grass, the trees, like a different color. That would go a long way. I think people will be more interested in these planets. But as it stands right now, people don't really care, really. And I think that's a shame, because, planets in Star Wars are great world building, and, I think that magic has kind of lost. But with my suggestion, I think it could bring that back. But I'm going to end things here. If you guys enjoyed, hit like button, subscribe. We're going to go now. So, goodbye, everyone.